Hello everybody. Winter is coming, but not on the crypto markets. So that is why we're going to talk about the markets. We're going to talk about the Zondacrypto. And that is why with me there is a Guido Buehler, non-executive member of the management board Zondacrypto. Hello.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. So the first question for you is, as crypto becomes more heavily regulated, it's expected that the numbers of unregulated entities will decline. So what is your opinion about it? What does it mean to Zondacrypto?
For Zondacrypto is a very positive trend because Zondacrypto is the biggest regulated exchange in Europe. And regulated means to be controlled. It means to be in a safe place for the investors. And it's particularly important in a market that has been growing so fast and many unregulated entities emerged. Means there is a consolidation and people are looking for a place where they can trade and explore cryptos in a safe and transparent environment.
So why traders should go to Zondacrypto? Why they should pick the Zonda?
Zonda is, as I mentioned, a regulated entity. Just has renewed the license in Estonia, which has a very substantive license regime. That was a process that took 2 years to be audited. And it's very much in the context also of anti-money laundering aspects. And for many people, crypto is very exciting and interesting, but there is still sometimes a negative narrative around this. And dealing with an entity that is regulated takes all the negativities in this narrative away, and people can explore and take the benefits of crypto in a very safe environment.
About that, why Estonian license? Why did you say that you want to renew this Estonian license, so which is considered to the very strictest crypto license in Europe?
So it was a very conscious decision by Zondacrypto to be on the forefront of the regulatory environment, right? I mean, where the market is coming from, there were, players, they believed that a non-regulated environment is the free spirit of blockchain, right? But in every new technology, there are good players and bad players, right? And since we all believe that blockchain is a technology trigger that is fundamentally going to change how we are conducting business, even maybe from a social interaction perspective, fundamentally changing certain ways, it's important that we protect all the players in that field. And regulation is therefore very key. And then you look around what's happening with the jurisdictions, right? There has not been many guidelines, for the young companies how to interact. I think there are leading jurisdictions, for instance, Switzerland, that has a full decentralized ledger technology framework. And other countries, they were not really sure or were relatively more on the conservative side. And Estonia was one of the leading jurisdictions in Eastern Europe and has taken a very conscious decision to be high-quality jurisdiction and introduced the new regulatory environment. And before this new legislation, there were about 1,500 certified companies. And since, I think, the latest data from 22nd of September, there are now only 20 that have the approval, and 60 are basically have obtained the license in principle. So you see, the quality of the regulation is so high that more than 90% of the companies basically didn't make it. And we believe in quality, we believe in standard, we believe in be a good regulatory player, and on the basis of that fundament, being an important player in Europe and beyond.
You mentioned about the free spirit of blockchain. Do you think this is a good impact, the regulation on this market? It doesn't make it more like Satoshi Nakamoto wanted to be a very free and unregulated. So now we have a regulation. Is it the crypto still the same, or is it changing?
Yeah, this is a philosophical question almost, right? And you know, when I got involved in crypto 2017, the narrative was at that time we don't need banks, right? Meaning regulated intermediaries. And we looked very much into the topic and brainstormed about this. But if you think about it in a very high-level, abstract way, right? Blockchain is the third level of internet, right? So we had internet of communication, which triggered entire transformation, communication space. We had internet of things, you know, with 2007 and the iPhone, which fundamentally introduced new business models. And now we have the internet of value, right, which is another dimension on top of it, which really enables Web3 and the opportunities. And if you think about internet of value, it means exchanges of values, right? And therefore, in the history of humans, right, it immediately attracts bad players in a way, and fraudulent activity are emerging. And that's why regulation is good. However, we have to make sure that regulation is not an innovation killer, but it's creating a sort of a win-win situation for the players to be in a safe environment, but at the same time explore the opportunity that this technology is offering. So it's a little bit of a struggle between agility and stability.
And what does Zonda think about mentioned Web3?
Well, Zondacrypto is positioning itself to go from Web 2 into Web 3, right? It's being an enabler. Web 3, it can be defined in many ways, right? And we also have to be clear. But we all with Web 3, a different expression would be a new economy model, right? Where you can go fully digitalized, which has fantastic opportunities, but also have a real use case in today's real world, right? For instance, when it comes to financing, small enterprise financing being dependent on big companies giving out the orders, right? Factoring and all these elements. And I think we are moving in that direction, and Zondacrypto is always observing the new trends, wants to be fast, right? But at the same time also has a filter to understand what is a gadget versus what is a real new feature that can help the players in the Web3 to conduct their businesses and explore their visions.
Why did you become a strategic sponsor of Raków Częstochowa?
Well,
why sports?
Why sports? Well, I think, you know, there is a couple of things. Sports is more than just, you know, or sports sponsoring is more than just being transparent, right? It's also making sure there is a link from the digital world into the real world, and also giving a face to a company that it's purely digital. And we also believe that a successful sports team creates economic value. And if you look, our team has evolved over the years from a lower league into the higher league in a relatively short time, with all the sweat and pain that exists around it to celebrate the successes. We felt there is a similar story, and wanted to struck this sponsorship with Raków.
Okay, so if you want to be a recognized entity, then why aren't you featured in Comparik, InvestCaps? Where people want to be a part of a crypto market.
More to come. Let's see that, right? I think there is a new positioning for Zondacrypto, right? As I mentioned, with all the narratives that I expressed before, and we are now exploring all the different channels. And obviously, you know, channels like yourself are very important, and that's why I'm here.
And are you trying? Do you want to add some kind of new instrument on your exchange?
Of course, of course.
What kind of?
It's a constant evolution. I mean, one thing is like making sure that the experience is improved basically on a daily basis, right? So it's the whole wallet features, the onboarding. There are various new releases that are being introduced and make the current life even better. But there are, more importantly, I think one of the very important ones that are going to launched is Zonda, right? And today we all bought crypto because it's going up to the moon, right? And at the same, and we have seen now volatility decreasing significantly. And at the same time, people want to, like in traditional finance, earn, right? So staking features, lending, for instance. And this is the next feature that is going to be implemented in Zondacrypto.
And what is your opinion about AI on crypto? Do you think that it can disrupt the traditional bull-bear cycles on the market?
It will have clearly a positive impact. The bull-bear cycle, that's the fundament why we are investing, right? So AI will not take it away, but it has various features. So, for instance, better analytics, right? Understanding, correlation and regression models, proposing new patterns that technically it's not being has been understood. We believe that with the connection of smart contracts, certain elements of forecastings are going to be much more precise. We believe that the sentiment analysis is also being more precise in that regard. So there's much more features that are going to give more intelligence, so to speak, for the traders. Is it on milliseconds or is it for the long term to take the right decisions?
And do you think that soon crypto market will be in mainstream, or is it already in the mainstream?
I think we are very early days. And it all started by the evangelists, right? Mm-hmm. And then everybody followed. And people have now started to realize, the more traditional players, that this is a new asset class. I mean, put it in a little bit in the context. There hasn't been a new asset class for 20 years, right? And people really started to invest and improved their portfolio performance with crypto. And traditional players are seeking now to integrate crypto as an asset class into the over asset allocation. And we have seen significant players in the US want to launch their ETF. So in a way, it has already arrived, but on the other hand, it has not really been fully adopted. That's why I believe it's in early days. Personally, obviously, I'm a strong believer. Crypto will create opportunities that we have not realized. And it will fundamentally change the role of money. It's a different positioning of money. Maybe money in the old days, when money was more a measure, like kilogram or centimeters, to have comparisons if you and I we want to change goods. And I think that's also a promise of crypto, that with utility token, payment token, asset tokens, these are going to be endless opportunities to have new values created, and everybody's going to adapt that. I have a bold statement. I say that the entire financial system will migrate to blockchain technology, and crypto will play a very important role.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this conversation. My guest and yours was Guido Buehler, non-executive member of Management Board, Zondacrypto.